Hey there, this is the One Boom, and are you struggling with the Path of Ronin camo challenges? Are you having trouble getting headshots? Well, then it's a good thing you clicked on this video. If you're not just using this video to pass the time and you are really looking for the information, don't worry, we're getting into it right now. After I tell you, hit the bell icon to get notified when I go live. I am currently streaming my camo grind, which is tedious and I yell a lot, so that's kind of fun. And also, I just stream a lot of Call of Duty recently, so if you're interested in watching me, you want to come ask me questions, you really just can't sleep at night unless you send me money, the stream's the best place to do that, so go ahead, hit the bell icon, and get notified when I go live. Now, I have not completely completed all of my camo challenges, but I have noticed certain weapons in certain categories helping me a ton. So I thought, you know what, I'll just put together a list of weapons, and we're going to start the list off with two weapons for the assault rifle category, and that is the Kastov 74U and the Kastov 7.62. Both of these weapons can get two-shot headshots, only one of them can get two-shot headshots a lot farther out, and that is of course the 7.62. So really, if you're looking for an assault rifle that can just rack up headshots a lot faster, I would say use the Kastov 74U on smaller maps and the Kastov 7.62 on larger maps. When it comes to attachments, you want recoil stabilization, and you also want your horizontal recoil brought in, maybe a touch of vertical, but mostly horizontal, because you don't mind if your gun kicks up to the head. That'll give you a free headshot. You don't want it to kick, off to the shoulder or up over the shoulder, so you want to tighten up your horizontal recoil. So use attachments that help with horizontal recoil, and use attachments that are going to help with recoil stabilization. You want consistent upwards recoil and a high headshot multiplier, and the right attachments combined with the Kastov 74U and the Kastov 7.62 are going to give that to you in the assault rifle category. For battle rifles, I didn't have a lot of luck with the Lockman SO14 or TAC-V, and I ended up going with the F-TAC Recon because it is a lightning-fast, semi-automatic headshotting machine. The one thing I will say is its one-shot headshot potential is hurt by the fact that its range isn't very good. So what I would say is that use a chunkier F-TAC. I know, some people hate anytime I suggest a weapon that isn't really fast with aim down sight speed, but forget about it. You want precision and you want headshots. So what you want is a longer barrel plus any type of suppressor that's going to give you the advantage for range. So using a range increasing suppressor, using the longer barrel, using an F-TAC Ripper, and high velocity ammunition tuned for damage range is going to keep you accurate for one, and also just give you a lot more consistent headshots out at range. And then I recommend using an optic, unless you don't want to, in which case, do whatever else you want. But this is what I was using. I will say a little bit more aiming stability couldn't hurt on this, but it was working pretty damn well for me. Now, next thing is, when it comes to shotguns, I have a little bit of a hot take here. I was gonna say use slugs, but you could use that if you wanted to, but that's sort of high risk, high reward with a lot of the shotguns. I was gonna say use the KV broadside because it's spammable and easy, but then I realized these are shotguns. If you are fighting in close quarters with the shotgun and just aiming towards the upper chest and head, yes, I am literally giving you the advice to aim towards the head for headshots, then you're gonna be fine. Like, I can't think of a tip to give you other than just aim upwards and use a shotgun. It's going to either get the headshot or not, and if you're using slugs, play with it like sort of a bad DMR. Hold down lanes, keep your sight at head level, and just hope for one-shot kills. I can't do that in my lobby sometimes because players are very fast and they're not going to line up for those headshots. So I just run a shotgun like a shotgun. I shoot people in close range. If the pellets hit them in the head, I'm happy. Now for SMGs, it's easy. The P90, the PDSW 528, is going to be your best bet. This thing can get a 3-shot to the head at over 900 RPM, and if you use my sort of longer range carbine build that I showed off in my PDSW review, you'll know that it is a headshot machine. It is a headshot laser beam. You're going to be getting 3-shot headshots out to around 18 meters, maybe a little bit longer with the right suppressor if you want to do that. Either way, this is a head shredding tool. I was having trouble with SMG headshots until I started using this. If I would have used this the entire time, it would have cut the time it took for me to get headshots in half. So definitely use the PDSW 528 to plow through SMG headshots. I know there are other SMGs with high rates of fire, but none of them have this gun's bullet velocity. So not only is it going to be the rate of fire and the damage, you also have the bullet velocity. So the consistency here is top notch. This thing is a little pocket assault rifle. I can't gush over the PDSW enough. Now when it comes to LMGs, I'm gonna have to give it to the RAL, a gun I cannot wait to review because this is the LMG I believe is the most capable of doing the funniest thing I've ever seen in a Call of Duty game. I accidentally kill people with this thing. People walk into my line of fire and they're dead before I realized I saw their character model. I love the RAL. It's a beautiful weapon, and it is so capable at two-shotting somebody to the head across the map. It's not even funny. Bipod this thing up, become a rat, put a scope on it, and you have a fully automatic sniper rifle that is going to chew through cover. I recommend using armor-piercing rounds just to enjoy the RAL. You are the best person on your team if you can successfully lock down a lane with the RAL. If they don't kill you, you'll kill them. It's a gunfight winner. I love this thing, can't gush about it enough. And it is amazing for headshots because of that recoil and because of just that amazing damage it puts out. They cannot nerf this thing. They've tried a couple times, doesn't work. Now for marksman rifles, I played around with a lot of different marksman rifles, but honestly, I went with the Tempest Torrent. The Tempest Torrent is capable of getting a one-shot headshot out to 50 meters and has a very consistent rate of fire. It's practical. If you're going for headshots, if you're aiming at the head, why not go with the weapon that has 20 rounds in the mag, is easy to use, consistent to fire. That second shot, third shot recoil is a little crappy, so definitely don't spam it too much. But if you're just trying to tap heads with a marksman rifle, I do recommend the Tempest Torrent. But of course, the TAC-M and the LMS are not bad options either, even the EBR. But you know what? I'm gonna say the Tempest Torrent, just for that larger mag, just a little bit more convenient. But of course, if you don't have the Tempest Torrent unlocked, I would definitely recommend using the EBR-14. I think that would be the next best option. If you're a little bit more campy, a little bit more long range, then maybe use the TAC-M. Now when it comes to snipers, again, it's a sniper rifle. If you're able to hit somebody in the head, hit them in the head, but why leave things like that up to chance? If you're trying to line up headshots, across the map with like a 7x scope is no good. I want to control a lane with a red dot sighted signal 50. I find there's too much pressure to land a headshot with a bolt action, and if I have to go for a ton of headshots with sniper rifles, I'm just more confident using a semi-auto tuned for recoil control with a nice open red dot sight. Some of you might make fun, some of you might think that's dumb, but I just feel more confident with this. I will say I did get my Cherry Blossom Camo unlocked by using the SPX-80 and landing actual like bolt action rifle headshots, but the Signal 50 was my favorite sniper rifle to go for headshots with hollow sights and red dot sights, because I just thought it was more fun and it just felt really good. Then we have to talk about handguns. So for handguns, I would recommend the Deagle, the 50GS. This is just a variant I got from the Battle Pass. I think this was a Season 1 Battle Pass weapon, the articulate response. Doesn't matter. This weapon recenters back down to 0 really, really well. You can spam this thing and pretty much every round out to mid-range is gonna land in the same hole. So especially if you're tuning this thing for vertical recoil control, or you have a longer barrel on it that's gonna make it a little bit more accurate, this is the best because you can just watch a doorway full of enemies and just spam at head level, and every shot, especially if you pace your shot a little bit, is gonna land right at that head level, and it's gonna one-shot headshot people. It is fantastic, I recommend it. It's also great if you use it with a quick draw grip and you can just pull it out, pop somebody in the head, and keep going. Other pistols will work. I almost thought about using the X13, but yeah, the X13 does give you the flexibility of essentially being a little SMG, but articulate response, just, if it didn't have that perfect recenter, I'd say use the X13, but it has that perfect recenter. So if you have trouble landing headshots with it, I can't believe I'm saying this, but get good. Now at the end here, here's some general tips. You want aiming stability, you want horizontal recoil control, you want recoil stabilization. You don't really want to worry too much about recoil control, except on the faster firing full autos I listed, and you really want aiming stability on your more precision weapons. Also on your snipers, I would definitely recommend running flinch reducing attachments and the focus perk. So definitely do that. You don't want to get knocked off target. If you're aiming at someone's head and you get hit, you're going to flinch up and shoot above their head. So definitely flinch resisting is just really smart for going for these more precise headshots. So aiming stability and flinch resistance for precision weapons, and definitely bring in your horizontal recoil control and stabilization for automatics. So the next thing is launchers and melee kills. The Camo challenge requires you to stab people in the back. Just camp inside a camping spot, you know, and wait for people to like walk through a door, and then as they walk through, stab them. You might get shot in the back right after doing so, but just do that. Run dead silence, run ghost, be as stealthy as possible. Run things that make you prepared for stuff, stun enemies and run around them. Just try to put your knife in their back, and there's not many other ways you can do that. There's not many more tips I could give you. Just give that a go. And launchers, just use whatever one you want. Blow people up. Launchers are great. You just point them at a doorway when you know enemies are coming through and fire. Use a javelin on a long-range map. Lock on, fire. There's not many tips I can give you to blow people up. Like, I don't know, play objective game modes, wait for somebody to be capping your B flag, and then hit it with an RPG. Like, I guess, but that's it. Anyway, it's been 10 minutes, and I've told you to aim upwards with shotguns, use aiming stability and focus attachments on precision weapons, and blow people up and stab people in the back. So if this video wasted your time, please feel free to leave a like anyway. It really helps me out, and I will see you when I see you guys. Goodbye. He held us off for a while with that X-13. That was actually kind of impressive.